Good evening! It's Friday, it's 7 PM. My name's Danny, and this is Easy 8 Online Painting Club. Welcome for another show. Been looking forward to this week. Last couple of weeks have been a little bit tetchy. If you've been watching the last couple of episodes, I've been having problems with my internet connection, my connection, my providers. It's an ongoing battle, and it has been bloody, to say the least. Just got Jeff in there at the moment. Hi, Dad. Hopefully more viewers will come along in just a moment. I'm just going to turn the music down a little bit here because it sounds a little bit loud just in the background. My audio is working this week. Last week it wasn't. Like I say, technical issues. If the audio is not coming through clear or it's coming through too loud, then just let me know and I can adjust it on the fly. So what has been happening with my internet? Basically, it's just been cutting out in the last couple of shows. Very close to the end last week and the week before, just after halfway through, and it's been a bit of a nightmare, frankly. There's very little I can do about it because it is a provider issue. We're supposed to have a technician coming around to have a look at it, but it's not happened yet. Every time they're supposed to come around, they don't. So we're in the middle of changing providers. I hope that this evening's show continues unabated, unabridged, unedited, and I hope that we make it right through to the end. That would be lovely. Jeff says it's fine. Thanks, man. Thanks. That's the kind of community that we need. Yeah, so this week, something a bit more special. I'm still on my own. There's still no Kyle. I dropped him a couple of messages earlier on. He's still busy. That's okay. But I left him a message earlier on letting him know that tonight is a special night because if you have been following me for the last few weeks, you will know that I've been trying desperately to get launched on Discord. And I'm very, very happy to announce that this week I am launching Discord straight after this show. So more on that later on. But I would like to thank the community at large for kind of putting ideas together for it. And for Luke Gallia, who is normally online with us right now, but isn't at the moment. So hopefully you join us in a bit and you catch this message. Luke Gallia has set up the entire server, and it was quite complicated when I was looking into it. I'm not the biggest technical guy in the world. I'm like a 2-bit rate broadcaster, but it was very confusing trying to set it up. But Luke has just taken my ideas, written up loads of stuff. I wrote up loads of stuff, and he's just made the server, and it is absolutely fantastic. It is everything that I wanted and more. And as time goes on, I hope that you as a community just give feedback, give input, and make it a place that you want to hang out in, because I've made it for you. It's not solely for me, it's for everyone. So what is Discord? For those of you that don't know what Discord is simply a set of chat rooms. It has lots of different features in there. Initially it was set up for gamers, but it has expanded on beyond that now. In fact, just as I was getting ready to set Discord up, got an announcement from Discord themselves saying that they are evolving and that they are adapting beyond the gaming community. So you can just type and chat to your friends if you want to, or the community at large, like a live Facebook feed if you want to, where you just kind of get to talk to people as it happens. And that's kind of what Easy 8's all about. We don't do pre-recorded stuff, as all my technical issues display quite well. Evening all, says Adrian. Nice to see you, Adrian. Thanks for coming along, fella. So yeah, Discord is there's lots of different channels in there to kind of get chatting, get talking to each other on there. There's also video channels. I don't quite know how it all works yet, so it's really exciting to get stuck into it. What I do know is that you can log on to Discord at any time, so it doesn't have to be on a Friday evening, it doesn't have to be during show, after show, it could be on a Thursday morning, it could be on a Saturday afternoon, it can be whenever you want. And the community, if you're just kind of milling about doing a little bit of hobby work, you can just log on and have it there. And if someone else comes and joins on as well, then you can start chatting to them. And Luke and myself have set up loads and loads of different channels essentially down the left hand side of the screen, where you can just kind of click on them and you can talk about stuff outside of the hobby. You can talk about about work, you can talk about food, you can talk about whatever you want to, just to kind of get the community building together. And that's what we've been wanting for a long time, is just another means for the community to connect and go beyond the hobby world. And then there are loads of hobby things as well, so you can talk about your latest work in progress. You can talk about the recent thing you just done and put up a picture if you want to. You can talk about feedback and get criticism for the stuff if you want to. You can talk about tips that you may have learned or developed yourself or learned from someone else. There's loads of it on there, and it's all made for you guys. You can post up whatever you want as long as it's appropriate, of course. So if you've got yourself a business and you just want another platform to advertise to, by all means, please do. Don't overdo it. Don't spam it with stuff. But if you want to put a picture of your latest project that you've built to sell, or get some ideas for things that you want to build to reach out for people, then it's all there for you. Have a little play, have a little click, feedback to Luke and myself, and we will basically read everything that you put out there. So yeah, there are channels on there where I will start putting out information about all of the shout outs that I give for people with their own businesses, for the companies that we buy stuff from, for anyone who you're recommending for me to give a shout out on the show. It's all there for you, so we can give really good links, we can give branded graphics, all that sort of stuff there as well. It's really exciting. Also, I'm going to start putting in stuff for the community spotlight, so a permanent place for you to go back and over time, when I've got the time, because I'm still working quite hard at the moment, but as and when, I'm going to start putting up all the previous images that I've had with all the details and citing all the people that put all that work into it. And if you want to recommend people for Community Spotlight, or you want to suggest yourself, then this is definitely a place to do it. But it's just a really good place for you guys to connect and, when it's not showtime, because that's what it's all about, right? Mellabrook has joined us. Yo, hi Mellabrook. Nice to see you again. Thanks very much. It's been a few weeks since you've logged on, or at least since you've logged on and chatted with us. I hope you're doing well. So basically, it's live right now, but you can't get there right now. If you are watching right now, you have basically first access to it. That's kind of cool, because you will know that exactly 9 o'clock there is a scheduled post that will go up on Facebook on the Easy 8 page. More on that in just a second. And that will give you a direct link. You click on that link and it will take you over to Discord, and it will give you unlimited access to the server. Unlimited access for what I meant is an unlimited time, like it's not going to run out. Shouldn't do anyway. So you should be able to just go on over there, click on that link, it will take you to Discord. If you don't have a Discord profile, it'll ask you to do one, and it's the same as any other profile. It'll ask you for a few very simple information, bits of details and whatever, and you can adjust it later on if you want to, and then it will take you into Easy 8 server. There are lots of other servers out there, it could be for anything, but Easy 8 is the place where we will all be talking. And basically, at any time that I've got free time and I get a day off and I'm not doing anything else, I'm going to come down a bit and do a hobby time, I'm just going to put my headset on, I'll set the studio up, and you can come and talk to me in real time and actually have a conversation rather than having just to kind of respond to a show. And you'll be able to talk to all the other people as well. You don't have to join in the video chat. You can just go into the talky talk bit, just type to your friends if you want to. If you're camera shy, don't want to have your voice out there, that's absolutely fine. And you can have one of the 3 video channels set up, so that you can have that open at the same time as talking in whatever other channel that you want to. It's really exciting, and it's come at the right time, I think, in the development of Easy 8, and I'm looking forward to really expanding the community, opening up a little bit. Hopefully we get a few more subscribers. We had our 37th subscriber the other day, and then they left. Sorry. hope you weren't offended or in any way, or whatever. So if you are new here to Easy 8, Easy 8 is not a tutorial, can never say it, tutorial channel by any stretch. I am a modest painter of humble skill, and I'm not the best broadcaster in the world, but it is simply a live stream social club for you to come and paint your miniatures of whatever nature they are, or any kind of painting really, and just to kind of chill out for 2 hours and crack on and carve a little bit of time out of the week just to kind of relax with friends we've made online. Of course, we are not just here on Facebook, on YouTube. We have a Facebook presence as well, and we have Instagram, and we have Discord right now as well, and hopefully during the week I'll have a chance to update this little bit at the bottom and put the Discord thing in there, but it's not ready for you just yet. You got to wait until 9 o'clock this evening. So If you like what we do, of course, you can always like and follow. And of course, if you would subscribe, every little bit really helps us. Such a simple little gesture from yourself really helps us out tremendously. So do please consider subscribing if you haven't already. And bring a friend, tell a friend and bring a friend. Make the community bigger so that we can do more cool and exciting stuff as time goes on. So yeah, that's Discord. Proper excited about it. Left a message to Kyle earlier on saying, hey dude, we got Discord now, you should definitely come along. But he's just so busy. Bless him, he's working really, really hard. So, of course, this is a painting club, and I would absolutely love to know what your projects are this evening. So do get involved in the live chat just over there. If it is in that direction, it is for me. I hope it is for you too. Let me know what it is that you're up to today, whether you're painting, whether you're not. I've actually had some direct messages from you guys today, with a few people saying that they're not going to be available, like they're reporting in, like it's work. It's lovely. Thank you so much for letting me know that the show is really important to you and that you value it so much, and let me know that you're going to come along. That's fine. You've got lives. Do what you want to do. It's not for everybody, and it's for some. And if you can't make it, that's absolutely fine with me. What am I going to be doing tonight though? I'm going to be picking up where I left off last week. If you remember last week, I was struggling a little bit with getting some detail work done. I think I just had a really rushed day. I've had a rushed day today as well, to be fair. I'm a little calmer. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to pick up where I left off last week with some of the detail work that I was doing on Brenda the Sherbert Carnifex. It's a brilliant name. I love it. Yeah, she's going to have her own place on Discord. And I've been blocking in the colours on Susan the Trigon. Susan the Trigon. Yeah. So what I think I'm going to do today is I'm going to start off doing the easy work on the Trigon, and then I'm going to go do some detail work when I'm a bit warmed up on the Carnifex, perhaps, because I did it the other way around last week, and I just got shaky hands, and I was just getting a bit frustrated. So yeah, I'm going to do it this way around this week, I think. Yeah, cool. But let's know what you're up to, because I'm interested to know. If you've looked at the Facebook feed, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was that I've ordered the replacement parts for my broken down 3D printer. I'll take you over to the workbench and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So, during the COVID lockdowns, my mug is in the way again, Spider-Man mug. During the COVID lockdowns, I wanted to do as much as I possibly could to help the community, and one of those things was, as I had access to a printer, I was very, very lucky. I wanted to start printing anything I could to assist the community. So I just started printing those little visors that you could clip makeshift, the visor frames that you could clip makeshift visor screens onto. And I was just printing out loads and loads of them all the time. People were asking for 50 at a time, and I was just printing them out for the community and absolutely refused payment for it because, you know, it was a traumatic time, right? So I was just kind of doing my little bit. And I think I just got a little bit cocky with how much I could do in one go. And I set up a print to operate on one particular day, and I went out to the shops. When I was satisfied that it was going, I went out to the shops, and after watching it for about 15 minutes, you can kind of leave it to do its thing and come back to it later. I went out to the shops, I came back, and it had got quite a big blockage on the hot end, which is essentially the hot needle where all the filament comes out, and this is basically the blockage that I pulled off. This is really large for a blockage, and you can see that this kind of like this ball with a flat side underneath, and then there's this big pit here which I can get the end of my paintbrush in, and basically it was just sat there and it was just moving around the plate, and you can see that it's picked up this trail and all these bits, you know, and I'm no stranger to having failed prints, but this is really out there. This was really bad, and there was nothing left on the print bed. It scooped everything up. But by the time I got back, by the time I popped down to have a look at it, it was it'd been running for quite some time. So I tried to start another print, and it was just scooping stuff up, and it was smelling really warm, if that makes sense, when you can smell the heat. And I was like, that is not safe. There's something wrong here. So I shut the printer down. I waited for it to cool down because it gets to really obscene temperatures, and I opened the print head up, and basically if you imagine inside the print head you've got the hot end pipe, the tube that kind of filters everything out, sponges it all, it squirts it all out and splashes it down. And then there are a couple of fans, one that regulates the temperature of the hot end itself, and then 2 directional fans that blow down onto the bed, and they very, very carefully regulate the temperature on the bed, which is also heated, and that keeps the temperatures at an appropriate level for the substance to be pliable, etc. Oh, hello, I've got a subscriber on YouTube. Jeff Lacey has subscribed. Thanks, Jeff. Cheers, mate. That's wonderful. It says a few seconds ago. I wonder when you actually did that. There is a delay. I hope you guys all saw that as well. Thank you very much for subscribing. That's wonderful. Every little bit helps. Thank you very much. What was I saying? Yeah. Those directional fans basically have metal slopes that kind of come down to a point, a central point, where it directs the cooler air. And they had picked up a part of this lump, and from that had scooped up everything else into this monstrosity that looks like it's come out of Chernobyl. It took a lot of effort to get this out of the printer. I actually had to strip the whole printer down. I had to partially heat up the print head because it had molded itself. It was welded to the metal surfaces, and I had to kind of melt it to kind of remove it. It is an incredibly solid piece of plastic, and I'm quite surprised I didn't have a house fire from it. What happened after that? I mean, I cleaned it as best I could, and when I turned it on, black smoke started to trickle out of it. So why it was smoking was because the plastic, the hot wet plastic, had got onto the pladded cables of the temperature gauge, the thermistor, and the heat cartridge, the little tiny things probably about the size of the end of this coloured piece of paintbrush here, and it's a little cartridge with a wire that sticks out the back of it, and it heats up to bright white temperatures because it needs to go to 300 degrees Celsius in some cases, enough for you to irreparably damage yourself if you touched it, to instantly boil water, and in this pladded cable, molten plastic had got into both of them, and when I turned it on, the residual heat and the ambient heat was enough that it started to smoulder. So I instantly shut the printer down, and to replace those things I'd had to buy a package that would cost me over £250. It's a lot of money, and during lockdown when I wasn't working, it was unjustifiable. I am now working. I'm working a lot of hours for relatively good pay, so I've recently ordered myself some. However, I have also found a place that sells those pieces individually rather than in the set with other things, and it has cost me about £80 for the 2 pieces in total, which is a remarkable saving and without unnecessary additional stuff. So yeah, I should hopefully by the middle of next month get away from this, replace those parts in the printer, get it up and running, and just do some really cool prints and make stuff. And I've got some plans to build some stuff to actually create an Easygate shop to sell. Yeah, that's my story of how I nearly burned my house down. If you are going to get a 3D printed, they are really safe to use. Just check on them. Don't let them operate for hours and hours and hours. People do it. Just be sensible, because anything's dangerous if you misuse it, right? Anyway, well timed to the music there. That was really good. Jeff Lacey says, I forgot to do it. My bad. Thanks very much. Yeah. Oh, please just check. See if you've subscribed. If you like what you do, like what we do here, and you get a lot out of it, please just check if you haven't subscribed. Every little bit really helps. It really does. It's such a simple thing just to push a button and get those updates every week. But it really helps grow this channel. And I want it to do really well. So yeah, cool. Thanks very much for that. Adrian says, I've started to put some paints inside the turret of the Tiger 2. Also going to be starting on the Challenger 2, just for size comparison, of course. Yeah, you're addicted to the scale now, aren't you? 1/35th scale, fantastic. That's a cool looking mug. Yeah, I used to have a smaller Spider-Man mug, but after a while I got a crack in it. A Spidey is always my favourite, so my partner bought me this one. It's actually really large. I don't know if you get the idea of the scale here, but it's about 1.5 cups worth rather than just one in terms of size. Enough to keep me going through this evening. Anyway. Cheers. That is the first cup of tea I've had for many hours, and today I've spent the entire day in the cold and the rain, which we had a campfire last night with the kids at work, and the flames were horizontal. It was gale force, obscene Gale Force winds. Yeah, it's ripped everything apart. It's been a very blustery and a very busy week, but it's been fun. So, anything else? Jeff says, hooray! I can tell my customer the printer's back. Yeah, please do. Not just yet. Like in the middle of next month, I'll get the parts, and then I'm going to take a couple of days to strip it down, build it back up again. But yeah, it will be operational by the end of next month. Jeanette's joined us, and she says, our visor frames are still going strong at the pub. Of course, because you asked for some and I gave you a load. It's nice to know that they're still going, like almost a year in. No, it's a year, isn't it, I think? Yeah, it must have been. Anyway, glad to see you've joined us again. Thanks very much, Jeanette. I hope you're doing well. I hope that all your artisty stuff or hobby stuff that you've been doing recently, you've got some sort of results out of it, come to fruition. Anyway, that's enough of me jabbering on. Let's get on with some painting. Yeah, that's a tasty cup of tea. I stopped using cow's milk and I started using Outpro soy milk. I couldn't get on with it, but they do like a cuppa brand. If you're British and you like your cuppas. And it's really tasty. It took a couple of cups to get used to it, but now I can't handle milk in my tea really. So, if you remember at the end of last week or last couple of weeks, I've been using special cleaners in my brushes, and I've been using a repair gel. I haven't touched my paints all week or my paintbrushes at all, and the end of my brush is now pretty hard. I can kind of flex it, so I've got to wash that stuff out. So I'm just gonna rinse them off in some water here. Clean water this week. Look at that. Just going to brush them against the side. I'm not going to jab my expensive brush down to the bottom. Just rub them on the side. The bristles are starting to loosen up now. And I'm just washing that little gel out of it. Give it a good swill. And now it's a bit more pliable. I can push against the bottom a little bit without jabbing. And just get all that stuff out of it. And it's just helping me maintain the point and the shape of my very expensive brush. And then just dry it out, of course. There we go. And now my brush is now nice and soft and smooth. Really good stuff. I highly recommend getting some. Jeanette says, yep, it's a year, and yes, I've completed a few pictures recently. Okay, cool. I'd love to see them. I know it's not miniatures, I know there's a miniatures painting club, but do feel free to put pictures of your stuff up on the Easy 8 page. Share them if you want to. That would be lovely. Cool. So I've got my 2 greys from Citadel here. I've really been wanting to find some time, and I haven't at all this week, to expand my grey range. It sounds like a really bizarre thing to say. Expand my grey range. Grey we associate with being boring, but I really like greys. They're what's a wonderful paint colour to work with, and I'd like to have some different grades, if you like, so that my blending can become a bit smoother. If you watched last week, I was playing around with the different grades that I've got, and they're all quite different, or too different, or they're very, very close. So yeah, I'd like to kind of expand my grey horizon. What an interesting sentence. Put a bit of water there in my wet palette. Get it a bit creamy, not so creamy, a bit smoother. There we are. Is creamy smooth? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so on Susan the Trigon, we just basically need to do some patchwork, some filling on some colours here. Last week I did a lot with the talons, the head, and I did some more on the main body. So today I'm going to be working my way down the tail all the way along. It's actually quite a bit of work there because that tail is really quite difficult, and it's quite exhaustive. You have to you use a lot of paint up. That's what I'm trying to say. Exhaustive? You know what I'm trying to say. Heck, getting fooled by my words. So I'm just going to work my way down, and then I'm going to put another layer of Screaming Skull, which is that off-white colour here on the pincers to make that look. I really like that colour, and it stands out quite a bit, makes it look, it's like a focus point, isn't it? Adrian says, you want to be careful, you could end up with 50 Shades of Grey. I won't. What an awful film book. 50 Shades of Trigon. 50 Shades of Susan? So yeah, that's literally just starting off nice and easy. It's been a week since I painted. I've got a rogue bristle on my brush already. I might shape that up in a bit. And I'm just going to take my time. And this show isn't about showing you how to do something. It's just me leading the community and getting through the backlog. And I watch people on Facebook and all the forums and stuff that I follow and subscribe to. And I'm just watching people just turn out project after project after project so quickly. And here's me still half painting at 135th Panther from last October. And these models just go on and go on. I'm such a slow painter. I apologise for that, but like I say, it's not a tutorial channel. Why can't I say that? A tutorial channel. I could probably say it when I'm not on air. Weird. So what I was also thinking about doing today was, do you remember last week I was talking about filling in these seams here? I might scrape those out. I've got a couple of putties on the side. Luke's joined us. Heyo! Hi Luke, nice to see you again, mate. Thanks for coming along. Yeah, I might try and fill them. So scratch out those creases and get some filler in there, and see if I can do a better job than I have done on the Carnifex in the past. Luke, if you go back through the live feed and go back to the beginning, I announced all of your hard work on Discord, and I told the community about it. You don't have to go back and watch it. If you just want to hear your praise that I gave you, then yeah, you could jump over there if you wanted to. So thanks, Luke, for all of the efforts that you put into making Discord as cool as it is. It will be so much more, but it just needs to get used a little bit. It needs to, needs to have the community finding holes or asking for things to be put in there. And we're really excited to kind of bring it to you, and it's nice to collaborate with the community and do it. And you don't need me to be on to get the benefits of it. It's the best thing. We've been having some fun. Luke's been showing me how to do stuff. I still don't get a lot of it. I find it all very complicated. There's a lot of like bots that have been created to kind of keep things moving in the background and to make sure that everything's running smoothly. And Luke's kind of programmed them all because he knows what he's doing, because he's young and he has the mind for it, and I don't. Yeah, so there's that. So I will be on after today's show on the Easy 8 Online Painting Club after party, named by our community for the community. So a nice shout out to Michael Turner. Thanks very much for just suggesting that offhand in one of the comments to a previous video on the replay. Like I say, I read all the comments, anything that goes up there. Yep, I really liked the name. I really liked the idea, the concept kind of was born out of that title. So yeah, it made by you for you. So the concept is that straight after the show I'll be on for about an hour, and it's just chit chat, and you kind of get to meet each other, talk to each other. You can do it via webcam and your microphone. You can do it just by texting and kind of talking. So there's loads of talking channels and stuff in there, and there's one just where you can just a basic chat room. I can't remember what it's actually called now off the top of my head. Just chit chat. That's it, chit chat. And that's just where the general community should probably start looking for people to talk to, and then you can take your conversations into another room, area, whatever, if you wanted to. Yeah, it's just a chat room and you can talk to people. And if you're pitching sales to people in the community, yeah, you can find an appropriate place to go and do that if you want to. If you just want to chat because you miss each other, then there's places to go and do that as well. And of course I'll just have the webcam on, and you can come and join me for some light conversation while I clean down my airbrush, or tidy up the studio, crack on with a bit of painting, whatever it is that we're doing. You can come and join us. So the after party, and then of course the server just carries on running. Don't even need my computer on to do it. You can just, Discord runs itself. It's a wonderful tool, and I hope that over the coming months it becomes really invaluable. It'd be fantastic. A couple of little spots there where the paint does not want to cling to. Just making sure that any of those colours don't shine through from underneath. So just Just gently teasing the paint into some of these lines and cracks. So when you join Discord, once you've made a little profile, added your little name, you can add a photo if you want to. You don't have to. It'll ask you, as a part of joining the Easy 8 server, it'll show you some basic sort of behavioural rules, and it'll ask you to read through them. And then once you've read them, there's a little button at the bottom, a little icon, little thumbs up icon, which you've got to click on to just clarify that you've read the rules. By clicking it, of course, you are saying that, yeah, we've read the rules, and it's just a community guidelines, you know. Don't be inappropriate and treat people with respect and all that sort of stuff. And yeah. And once you've clicked on that, it'll assign you like a little title. The general title for most people in the community is like painter, because hey, we're a painting community. And then yeah, that then gives you access to all the channels available, and then you can freely roam. And because it was originally set up for gamers, the more you talk, you get points, like experience points, and you get like a score. At the moment, Luke is beating me because he's been talking to all the bots and programming them and typing away. So yeah, he's actually beat me. Yeah, and your rank. So you get to know what position you're in. Luke is first at rank 5 or something, and I'm second at rank 2 or 3. So yeah, a bit of fun. It doesn't do anything, but it's fun. It'd be cool if it did do something to reward our most engaging community members. I am going to have to sort that rogue bristle out because it is starting to make me go potty. So yeah, for Luke's benefit and for anyone who's watching late or on the playback, at 9 o'clock tonight, a scheduled post will go out on Easy8's Facebook page with the link to the Discord server. So yeah, be there. Be on time. Come and join in the after party, and you can fill your glass up with your chosen beverage and enjoy a bit of evening conversation of hobby stuff and just talking to the community at large. It would be lovely. I've spoken to a lot of you, you know, privately on the side, just kind of getting to know you all and whatever. You guys are getting in contact with me. Had a lot of phone calls, video calls, and just general chats. But it'd be nice to get the community together. Be nice for you to meet each other. Jeanette says Discord is fairly simple to use. Been on Discord for a while. Excellent. Looking forward to seeing you over there. And I'm very proud of myself because you may have noticed on the Facebook feed that I put up a couple of images of Discord. But when you go into Discord later on and you go to the announcements, you'll see an animated GIF that I made, and I'm very proud of myself. Okay, please give me credit for that. You'll have to go look for it. It'll be under the announcements channel. It's very easy to find. So yeah, I did that last night after a very, very long day of being wet and cold. Yeah, basically my life at the moment is just being wet and cold. That is what I'm doing at the moment. But I work at a children's adventure centre where people, you know, the kids come with their teachers and schools and stuff to stay for a week, and then they get to kind of do all like really cool outdoors activities and stuff. And it's the first guests that we've delivered to since the pandemic. And it's been a relief. It's been lovely to you know, provide exciting holidays and fun and, you know, development and learning and stuff. It's just been fantastic to work with those children again. So yeah, it's been good. It's been wet because it's supposed to be like mid-spring and it's just like torrential and cold. But hey, that's what we signed up for. I love it. Bought some brand new boots to be in the wet grass all day. It cost me a lot of money. Yeah, it was good. Cool, let's clean this brush out. That's long enough using that for a minute. I'm also concerned that I've been doing my Tyranids for too long in this recent train, if you like, of Painting Club. So I'm thinking about bringing something different to the workbench next week. If you would like to see something we'll discuss it at the after party. And I've got some suggestions. I've got my old faithful. Obviously, I've got my panther, which I haven't done anything for a while. I've got some other bits and pieces on the side. But there's some other suggestions. Maybe we could start a group project, or have some group input. Excuse me, that's my pizza coming back up there. Yeah, but that's what the after party is there for, right? Cheers. Right, I need a bit more paint because I've gone through that already. But it's very good. The wet palette leaves very, very little. I haven't got any dried bits left on my palette. I'm getting dangerously close to the end of this Dawnstone grey. It's Dawnstone, isn't it? Yeah. Going through it very quickly now. Because it needs a couple of layers just to kind of get that coverage. And yeah, it soon goes, especially when you start doing big Tyranids. And even if you're not doing big Tyranids, the little ones come in massive hordes. So yeah, you're still going through it. Oh, my headphones have fallen off there. There we go. Okay, cool. Back to painting. I'm actually getting through that tail section quite quickly. Maybe it's just this brush is just really good. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in the right mood for it. Last week I just struggled. Sometimes you have an off week, don't you? And you've got to learn to kind of put it down. Obviously, I run a show. Can't always put it down. Kyle struggled a couple of weeks before he took a break. It just says, sometimes you're just not feeling it. And it's important to know when that is, so you don't carry on and potentially ruin all your hard work, which would be disastrous. Don't ruin your hard work. We get into shot there. There we go. So this is a particularly tricky bit of this model because it all starts to kind of get in the way here. So I've got to kind of extend my paintbrush out a little bit, and that just kind of makes the whole painting experience very difficult. Because you get used to like a pen, I suppose. You hold a pen or a pencil in the same place, and that just becomes your style and lends, I suppose, to your handwriting. Much in the same way that holding a paintbrush in a certain way gives your style, your painting handwriting, if you like, I suppose. Come on, get into that bit there. It doesn't want to. It's okay. I know that I'm going to be applying a shade, that ink shader, which is really good, wonderful stuff. So if it's not going to go into some of the areas, the shaded recesses, that's fine. I'll hit it with that intensity ink later on. But all these little spikes down here, that's going to be the real test of my patience, I think. But let's just take one at a time when I get to that part. One at a time and just work my way through it. And I think that's why a lot of these painting projects make me slow. It's because when I'm faced with a daunting task, prolonged and difficult task, I just have to break it down. Go like, right, okay, I'm just going to tackle this bit. I'm just going to do this one panel, and then I'm going to move on next panel. And I'm not particularly fast. I'm not great at getting smooth, creamy blends that transfer from the brush. It takes me a little while to kind of get those mixtures. Okay. Add a bit of water, not too much. I think just to smooth it down, just so I can transfer the paint from bristle to model. Fill the belly of those bristles up so there's more to transfer. There we go. That's a bit better. Probably went a bit thick there. Come back in a second when I've removed a bit of this paint from the bristles. See if I can clean it up a little bit. I want to clean it up, thin the thickness of it down. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna, do as I said and just go back over that area. It's a bit thick. There we go. I just don't want to leave any texture in the paint. Wonderful. Cool. Right, moving on. So, one thing that's happened over the last few days, if you're living here in the UK, since last Monday, we've now started to ease our lockdown restrictions a little bit more, and we are now able to go to other people's houses. We're still not allowed to have very many people inside. We never used to have, whenever we're allowed that many people in there at all. We certainly weren't allowed to have guests in. You were allowed to meet 6 people from 2 other households. I think that is the household of yourself and another of 6 people to meet outside. Now we can have 30 people outside, maintaining social distancing, etc. And we are now allowed to have 6 people from 2 households indoors. So I was able to go and meet my parents, and it was just really nice. Went down with some chips from the chip shop and a couple of bottles of wine and just caught up, and it was just nice to have contact with people and just say hi and stuff. But of course, what that means now as a hobby community, it means that we're now allowed to start meeting up, in the flesh, get some games in. It's so exciting. People have been contacting me saying like, hey, can I come over on such and such a day? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to just being able to get these models out on the table at some point, playing against some of you guys, and start creating those stories, playing the games and having the fun and socializing, because I've missed all of my friends so much. But of course, there is the dreaded Indian variant out there at the moment, which means that our removal of certain restrictions come June are kind of put on a potential hiatus for a bit. So yeah, we don't know what's happening at the moment. So we might have to kind of just stiff up a lip in the British way, just grin and bear it just for a little bit longer perhaps. But it's certainly starting to return to normal. It's a long way before it's going to be back to pre-COVID lifestyle for sure. But it will certainly be nice to be able to go and see people and play games and stuff, right? Can't have all your friends over at one go though. Just got to take it nice and easy. Nice and easy. I think my watering of this grey might be getting a little too watery. Oh no, it seems to be going on just fine. Okay, cool. That's a habit of mine, is sometimes I overwater my paints. It doesn't take much for it to become too thin. Just realised that this part here is actually hiding everything that I'm painting, but this is exactly what it's like for my hands and paintbrush. I can't actually manipulate the model enough to get the right angle. But I can't complain. This model was made before I got it, but it was given to me by the very kind and generous Leslie, who normally watches our show. Is one of the people who said is not able to make it this evening. Has a few other plans because of the social restrictions easing. So yeah, I cannot get the paintbrush in there in that angle. nice and smooth. This bit's been bothering me for ages because it's one of those things that I've struggled to kind of get the paint on in a decent, timely fashion, you know, and get it in appropriate kind of covering. And yes, it's just one of those things because all the colours are starting to come together now. It's been bothering me, just kind of sat there looking at me half painted, but I know that it just takes just time and effort to get to, so it's nice to see it all becoming blocked in. Just coming up to the end there now. I really like the shape of the end of this tail. It's got some very satisfying shapes and curves and things. Just a good shape and size and scale and stuff. It's very reminiscent of sort of horror movies and alien movies and things. It's been done well. And of course, once I've got all these colours blocked in down the side of the snake tail, I've got to do all the edging, and that's you know, another project that, or another part of the same project that just adds time and frustration to it. Just got to stay calm and just put it down if you need to. We'll come back to it later. I see that Darren Van Enimus has joined us. He says, evening. Hello, Darren. Thanks very much for coming along. Nice to see you there again. You have missed the beginning of the show. It's not a problem. I will talk you through what you have missed because it's all exciting. This show is pretty much going to be me just kind of repeating it all the way through because it's important for anyone who's just stopping by on playback or, you know, on the live stream, just to let them know that we have something exciting happening at the end of the show. We have Discord, which is essentially live chat rooms. It plays right into our field of being a live stream show. Basically, Discord is live all the time. It's not just like a Friday evening thing. And you can log on at any time you like, and you can join the Easy 8 server, where our community will get together and just chat in the chat rooms with different channels and subjects to talk about and topics and things, or you can join in the video chat if you've got a webcam or you got a microphone and you want to talk to people, and you can do both at the same time if you want to, and there are so many channels for different topics and subjects or whatever. It's really exciting, and it promises to be, as time goes on, very powerful for the community. It is completely created by the community, for the community. Luke Gallier, who is live right now, has put in all of the hard work. I just said, wouldn't it be good if we could do this, this and this, and he made it happen. So thanks again, Luke. Probably going to be praising you all the way through the evening. It is live right now, but you cannot go to it just yet because it requires an invitation to be sent out to you. So what I'm going to do, or what has been done, is I have scheduled an automatic post to occur on Easy 8's Facebook page. At 9 o'clock this evening, a link will go out on that Facebook page, and if you click on it, it will take you straight over to Discord. It will link you into the Discord server for Easy 8, and if you haven't got a profile already, it'll ask you to make one. We've all made profiles now. It's all really easy to do. Once you've made yourself a profile, it will allow you access. It will then take you to the rules page, where you just have to kind of quickly read through the very few rules that I've written up about, you know, community behaviour and standards and expectations. And yeah, once you've click the little thumbs up at the bottom of the screen to say that you've read those rules. You have access to the whole community, and you can be on a Friday night, you can be on a Saturday morning, you can be on at any time, any day, day or night, any time of the year. And the idea is that it doesn't have to just be me, it can be whoever. When I come on, I can see who's on, you can see who's on, and yeah, it's just a tool for you to chat amongst yourselves and to extend the community outreach. So yeah, really looking forward to it. There's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of positivity that's going to come from having a Discord server. Originally set up for gamers, it's now extended and evolved beyond that, and I'm hoping to do a lot with it over the coming months. Yeah, really excited, really excited. And I made an animated GIF on the announcement page. I'm just really happy with myself. Cool, I'm gonna clean my brush out again. Jeff says, you best finish all your little tanks then. Yeah, that's one of the things that I might suggest that I continue on with. I've got so many projects and it feels like so little time, and yeah, I know I was busy doing stuff during lockdown, but you know, work is work, it takes up a lot of time, right? So at the moment, like Kyle always said, knowing that you've always got those 2 hours at the end of a Friday, it's always nice to know. It's always nice to know that you got that. But yeah, I will. I've got a day off on Sunday, and my partner is working on that day, so you know, I'll do a few household chores, cook some dinner in preparation for the evening, and I'll be straight down here in the studio. So I'm sure at some point during Sunday I'll be on Discord. I'll just have it on in the background, I'll just be playing some music, and you can just come in and join me anytime. There are 3 video channels on there, video channel 1, video channel 2 and video channel 3. Uniquely named, but I've also named them parts of a tank because I like tanks. Me and Luke were having a chat about it. He's like, I don't know anything about tanks. I was like, I do. So yeah, I've just simply named those 3 video channels at the moment: the commander seat, the gunner seat, and the driver seat, just because it was fun. No other reason. Yeah. And you can talk about you know, what hobbies it is that brought you to Easy 8, you know, what miniatures that you like to paint. You can show off all the works that you're doing, that you've done. You can ask for help in certain channels. Certain channels is just about tips and tricks, where I'll post stuff, you can post stuff. We can embed posts as well, meaning that they stay permanently on the page. As obviously we're talking, we move up and up and up, and it scrolls up, but we can post things that stay there on the screen. So yeah, that's just about talking with me and Luke, and it's all geeky themed as well, but it looks all very neat and tidy and black and well presented and clear. When you first log on, it does look like there's a lot of information on there. Just ignore the hype that your brain's going to give you. It's just channels down the left hand side. Simple. Down the right hand side, it tells you who's online. That's all you need to worry about, and in the middle is what you're looking at. Just take the time to look through it all. And I've got no issue with people advertising on there, as long as it falls under the Discord community guidelines. That's absolutely fine. Don't get the community in trouble because we're not following those things. If you are at all apprehensive and unfamiliar with those rules, just Google them, man. Google is your friend. Maybe Google isn't your friend with all the conspiracy theories, but you know what I mean. Just search, you know, have a little look. But if you want to kind of put up a picture of, let's say you make models, or you're a painter, and you just kind of do things and you want to sell them on as one-offs or whatever, put pictures of them up there, and then ask for people to contact you for prices and things if you're interested. It's totally there for everyone. If you are a competition player and you paint models to kind of join as competitions, it is a page for you. If you don't play games and you just paint models for people to sell to make money, it's a page for you. If you just like the artwork, it's a place for you. It doesn't matter. And as the community grows and more things start to happen, I might make it that you know, it's Patreon access. But you guys have been with Easy 8 since the beginning, and I see, you know, I feel that it's only fitting that you guys kind of get that premium access, you know, because you've been with me the entire time. We've been on this journey together, and I'm very grateful. So yeah. And like I said, if I ever make money through Easy 8, all of the money will go into Easy 8. You know, I'm not at this stage doing it as a job. It's not like I'm making a profit on it and going, yeah, wow, I live such a luxurious life because of Easy 8. 37 subscribers now. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Dad. It's not like we're not PewDiePie. We're not making millions off of YouTube subscriptions or anything like that. It's a hobby. It's fun. I do it because I get quite a kick out of it now. Like going and putting my headphones on a Friday evening and painting my models with you guys. It's part of the fun of it. But so is the hobby, right? It's why you guys do it. It's why I do it. So yeah, let's make it for you. But we miss Kyle, right? Bring back Kyle. Bring back Kyle. If we all shout, bring back Kyle, now maybe he'll hear us. He won't. You'll just sound stupid in your house. Don't do it. I mean, do it if you want to. Yeah, cool. You can see this, but I've got a couple of rogue bristles. Can you see them? See that? Doing my head in there. Getting some nice layering on. Some nice layering. It's going on really well. We are, of course, just a couple of minutes out from having an intermission. So yeah, if you need to in a minute, go stretch your legs. Perfect opportunity. Halfway to the Easy 8 after party. So exciting. I hope it works. I hope it goes smoothly. And of course, over the last couple of weeks, we have had those awful connection issues. If that happens in today's show, I apologize in advance for it. I'm very embarrassed by it because I know this is a hobby. I know it's just for fun, but I still like to be of the highest quality I can. And when something like that happens, it really shoots me down. And I just try to carry on, you know, and keep a stiff upper lip. Said that twice today. And if it happens, I just go straight to YouTube and I just make another video and I'll just connect them later on by just putting part 2 on it. So if it happens and you get disconnected from this feed, just head straight over to the Easy 8 YouTube page and just see if you can find a new live video, because that's what I'll do, because it's happened a couple of weeks in a row now and people have not struggled, but you know, it's been a bit of a faff to try and find what I've done. And then of course I've been online on Facebook to give you a live update in some cases. Just go straight looking for a new video if it happens. I absolutely hope it doesn't, and my God, have my internet providers had a thick ear, and the service has just been appalling. And like I say, I'm not going to start talking about who that provider is because I'm not here to start jibing at people. It's very unprofessional and very undignified. But I'm just going to say that those providers are not doing it right. So yeah, if it happens, I am sorry. I hope it doesn't. Now looking at my processor, and we are running flat at 22%, 30 frames per second. It's really steady. Oh, it's dropped down to 19.2 CPU. That's really good. So yeah, it's definitely not my computer. It's definitely not the broadcast. It's not that I am putting too much into it and you know that my computer just can't handle it and fritzes out or freezes. We've experienced that back in the early days of learning on what works on Easy 8, and now we know what works. So yeah, it's the providers. So yeah, in short, if the feed cuts out, I will instantly go and make another video. My software does try to reconnect, but it can't do it forever. So yeah, it's normally I'll wait for like a minute and then yeah, I'll just cut the feed. And then you get like a follow-up video of me looking very upset, like last week. I was very depressed about it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna clean my brush out, and yeah, we'll take a quick break here. So as usual, just a 10-minute pit stop. So if you need to go and replenish your water, your clean paint water, you should definitely go and clean your paint water. If you need to stretch your legs, go to the bathroom, we'll get a fresh cup of tea or your favourite beverage. Now's the time to go and do it, and I will see you back here in just 10 minutes. Take care, see you in a minute. And I'm back. I didn't go anywhere. I've just been painting bits of the Trigon and just adding a bit more water to my wet palette because it's been a week and it's kind of dried out a little bit. Just a little bit, but enough. And the paper is just starting to curl. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Hope you had a good break. Hope you're having a good evening so far. I hope you're getting project stuff done. Don't forget that it's not a tutorial channel. If you are new here to Easy 8, it's just a painting club, just an online social club where you can come and get tips and hints and tricks and share your stuff and get some critique, or you just kind of join in, knowing that someone out there live at the same time is painting through their backlog at the same time. If you didn't know already, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're also on Discord now as well. Maybe if you like what we do, head on over to Facebook, maybe head on over to Instagram, give us a like or a follow on some of the stuff that's being put up there. Of course, if you haven't already, do consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. I can't say that, YouTube channel. I'm really struggling with all my words again. Yeah, maybe do subscribe if you haven't already to our YouTube channel. Such a little gesture helps us out tremendously. Had a new subscriber just this evening. That's fantastic. Thanks very much. It's really good. It's really cool. Yeah, and then there's Discord. Discord is new. I've been raving about it all evening. If you already know, then you know, and I can see that our viewer count hasn't gone up. I'm not going to badger on. I'm not going to go, but it's very exciting. So yes, join us at the end of this evening on Discord on Discord for the after party. Yeah, cool. Luke says, had a good break, fixed a bin. What a thrill. Cheers. I'm glad you're having such a great evening. Yeah, excuse me a minute while I just repair my my bin, my wet palette. Yeah, you guys are so funny. I was just painting the pincers on Susan on the tail. Let me just take you back over to the workbench and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So yeah, painting this big claw thing on the end. I really like that sort of off-white colour. It goes on really smoothly. Now I'll probably put on like an Agrax Earthshade or a sepia kind of tone brown on there to give it the colours that it needs. But as I was painting this off-white area, I was also thinking about this section here of yellow. I'll bring it in closer so you can see. So just this section here, it looks like it could be painted to make it like pinky and tendony, if that makes sense. And all of this effort around here. I've obviously got the grey carapace just here, and the claws extend from this area. And if you think about it, that would all be tendon or muscle or something that looks kind of different than regular skin. And what I've been doing on a lot of my other models is in between the joints on some of the arms. Let's find a good example on here. They're actually hidden underneath. So in the elbow creases, and if we can see in here so well, in the elbow creases under some of the arms here, there are like lines to make it look like it's exposed muscle tissues. So many claws, it's very hard to see. I'm so sorry. But yeah, maybe I can explain on here. So on this Carnifex, on the claw, all of this might be like exposed muscles or tendons or something. And we've got some on this elbow here, in this crease. There are like little lines and stuff inside, and it just kind of looks, if you've painted Tyranids before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In behind the leg and here, there are little grooves and things, and it just looks like it could be exposed tissues. And I just think it's a nice way of breaking up the whole palette of that whole paint job. So basically, in short, what I'm thinking of doing is painting this white as well. And I will basically brown up the talons, and then I will put a crimson stain on this bit, and it will turn it like the brains on the zoanthropes, yeah? So the idea is to kind of make this look like exposed tendon that holds these bits, or exposed muscles that hold these bones in place, and it all goes pinchy, pinchy, snap, snap. Yeah, pinchy, pinchy, snap, snap. So that's what I think I'm going to do now. I'd also like to, because the only part left on it at the moment, unpainted as such, is the interior of the mouth. And I'm also going to do that off-white colour. So I'm going to paint it in the same way as I would exposed muscles. I might make it look a little bit more pinky or purpley. So yeah, I want a slightly different colour tongue. I don't want all of the exposed muscle bits to look like exactly the inside of the mouth, exactly the same as the inside of the mouth. Put your teeth in, Danny. Yeah. And I also want the teeth to be the same colour as the pincers down here. I don't want to start putting, every single colour known to mankind on it, because it's just going to become a rainbow palette, and I don't want that. Less is more. Try to keep your colours generally not to a minimum, but don't go mental. There's no need to put every single colour. There's no need for all the colours in the world on there. So yeah, I don't know if I want the inside of the mouth to be the same sort of colour as here. So I might kind of play around with some other colours. I've got some flesh tone colours. But for now, I'm just going to slap some off-white colour in there. Because it is such a cavern of teeth and other things, stuffing an expensive paintbrush in there would probably be upsetting. So I'm going to use my mucky brush, the one that I use for loading my palette and things like that. So just going to give this a bit of a shake, because when I opened it a minute ago, it looked like it could do with one. Take the opportunity to have some tea. Yeah, what was possibly the worst thing that could happen there? Throw my tea all over the studio. Right. Creamy, smooth, wonderful. So, I'm just going to get a load here and slap it in the palette. Now I could just slap it in without watering it down, because I'm just going to force it in, it doesn't really matter, but it still needs to go in thinner. It doesn't want to go in mega thin. So just going to add a touch of water. Just going to break it down a little bit. There's a lot of details inside that mouth, and I wanted it to really stand out. I want it to be a focus point. I know you're not going to see it very much, because when you're playing a game you tend to look down at an angle, don't you, onto a table, but when you're examining the model, or you've got like a decent view of it, it's always nice to have different focus points. Now it's going to be really difficult getting this paintbrush in here, I've realised. So how am I going to do this? Let's just go for it. Oh, have it. Of course, when I started painting Susan, I did all of the initial yellows with an airbrush, so I was able to just kind of guide that colour in there. It's getting really difficult on the palette of the mouth, the roof of the mouth in there. Trying my best to not let rogue bristles kind of strike out from the sides, getting a different colour on all of the wonderful yellows and things I've already put in place. But because it's still a pale yellow inside, it might be that I only need to do one coat, which will be handy, because it's proving to be quite difficult. But already, just by getting that off-white colour in there, sorry Susan, I folded you upside down, by getting that off-white colour inside, it's already just kind of changing the character of this monster. Got a bit of white on the end of that mandible, but it's okay, because they're still only base coated, so I can go in and do some more work on them if I need to. Okay, let's get a bit more paint on the brush. And while I'm being quiet here, of course, do feel free to chat amongst yourselves. Talk to Luke about the wonderful bin standards he's got. Share some ideas if you're painting this evening. I've got a hair on there. I pulled it out of her mouth. Lovely. If you are painting this evening, do let us know what projects you're working on and currently what part of your project you're working on. Adrian is painting interior parts of his Tiger 2 and has started work on his Challenger 2, so he can compare the two for sizes. Very excited to see some work on that. Mellabrick is online for the first time for ages. I'd absolutely love to know what you're up to today. The last we spoke, you were building component parts to swap out your weapon options on your Wraith Lord, your Eldar Wraith Lord. I would love to know if that is still what you're doing and how well it's going. Have you finished that project? Have you moved on to something else? Or have you packed it up and thrown it in the bin? Because you said it was going to be tough work. Or have you just got us on in the background like a radio? Okay, we're starting to get somewhere. See, Susan has this annoying tongue design where the tip of the tongue just kind of curves right up at the end. And that little feature is just making it so difficult for me to get the paintbrush in. I can't just put the paintbrush in and then I angle it like that and kind of paint inside. I have to go in from one side, stab, 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 come from another side, stab, stab, stab. It's, yeah, frustrating. So now I'm going to come in from this side just to get the inside of the cheeks on that side over there without wiping paint across everything else. She's got some really big canines that stop me from going up and down. Ugh, frustrating. See, if I decided to just paint blood on my Tyranids, which is a move I went away from deliberately, I could have just covered a whole mouth in blood, couldn't I? But that was the reason I didn't want to do blood. I didn't want to hide behind cop-outs, and I didn't want gore, unnecessary amounts of gore. I wanted to focus on the creatures. Their effect is documented. It doesn't need to be displayed. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Curse you, Susan. I love that they've got names now. It's making it quite personal. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I think, is I'm going to get one of my very, very small brushes. Where's that little sable one that I like to use? Here it is. This is just a tiny little brush I've got. I think it's quite a cheap one. And I use this for doing some really fine details sometimes. Jeff has said, I'm drawing / planning a southern plantation house and sculpting a medieval tent. Absolutely fantastic. A southern plantation house. Is that American Civil War? Is that right? Is it southern, like not South America, but you know, the southern states of the United States? I don't know my United States history very well, I'm afraid, and I know that you used to make a lot of models for American Civil War. So yeah, I wonder if that's, am I making stuff up? Or is that Vietnam? I just don't know. I just don't know. I'm interested. Yep. Ah. Woohoo. Not much of a delay today either. That's good, isn't it? That didn't take very long to come through. Right. Get a bit of this off-white onto this brush. I'm just going to fill in some of those gaps that I missed. And then I've got to do all the teeth. And I'm gonna paint the white on the teeth after I've stained the inside the mouth, because what will probably happen, I'm thinking ahead here, what will probably happen is I'll stain the inside of the mouth with all the pinky colour or the crimson, and then I'll get it all over the teeth. So I'll just end up having to go back over it anyway. I've also got a gum line down here and I've seen people paint really pink gums, and I'm just not into it. It looks too much. So again, going to paint the gums off white and paint it the same as the inside of the mouth. And I can do like several layers of the staining stage. So with those shades or washes, I could do several layers and increase the intensity of the colour to lend a darker hue if I need to. So I might do that with the inside of the mouth to make that distinction between all like the exposed muscle tissues and things that I was talking about earlier. Says not going to paint all the teeth, starts painting all the teeth. Yep, sometimes I can't help myself, I get a bit carried away. Yeah, okay, looks like I'm painting the teeth now. Sure, why not? Oh, the devil makes work. Okay, it's going well. Being such a small belly of bristles on this brush, it doesn't hold a lot of paint, so when you're using such a small brush, you just have to keep going back to the palette all the time. That's why I moved away from such a tiny brush for detail, started using bigger belly bristles, just because they have the same sort of point for doing detail work, but they carry much more paint, so there's less moving backwards and forwards to that palette. I see that we've got more comments going in. Darren says, I'm about to try MIG paints for the first time on a 135th GI. 135th GI? As in like G.I. Joe? But I don't think you're going to be disappointed with MIG paints. Adrian started using them. Was it Adrian started using them? Or was it Stafford that started using them? I can't remember. I'm so sorry. I'm sure, Adrian, you bought some, didn't you? They're fabulous paints. Yeah, really good. I can't fault them. They're very similar to AK Interactive, which I also rate. I use a lot of AK paints. You know, it's quiet when I'm concentrating. World War II, American soldier. Yeah, okay, soldier. What is wrong with me today? Soldier. Yes, yeah, I get it. Cool. I'd love to see pictures. If you at the end of the night, maybe put them up. Yeah, if you're inclined to. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see what everyone can do and is doing and get inspiration, motivation myself. It's lovely to see. I'm interested about this plantation. A plantation of what? What was the American Civil War famous for having plantations of? Is it tobacco? Was it like contraband? Was it like opiate stuff? I don't know. Or was it just like a farm, like a crop farm? Something in my eye. That's not what I wanted. Adrian says, it was me, have been using them on my Tiger. Yeah, the MIG paints, fantastic. Well, I think they're fantastic, you might say otherwise, but yeah, I'd love to know your input. And Jeff says, tobacco. I thought so. Maybe it's all those years of you making all those models around me, I just kind of picked it up subconsciously in the background there. Or maybe I just know more about the American Civil War period than I thought. Okay, getting closer now to finishing this mouth. I have a feeling that Susan is going to be one of those projects that always has another difficult step to do. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't think it's going to be, oh, now I can move on to this because it's easier. I think it's always going to be the next step is just as hard. I keep getting on that mandible. I've just realised that over here there are some broken teeth. Poor old Susan. There, there's it. Just there. You can see them. On this side, pointy. This side, not. A little bit of transit damage perhaps when they are brought down to me. Adds to the individual character, doesn't it? Right, not really overly fussed about painting all of the teeth at the moment, but I'm going to give them a quick once over. Helps pick out some, pick out the teeth and separate them from the yellow, you know, mess that is Susan in her current state. Okay. It is looking good there. So Susan has really big eyes because she's a really big scale monster. I realise that my focus isn't the perfect today. I apologise for that. I've always liked doing really bright pale blue eyes on my creatures, but they've always been quite flat in their colour. In fact, I choose a colour and I go, yep, that electric looking blue colour, I like that colour, and then I kind of just put a dot on there. On the smaller creatures, that's absolutely fine, but when you're kind of getting to sort of Carnifex level and above, they've got quite big eyes in there. And when you're just painting like one colour, it goes a bit flat. So I'm gonna practice with Susan eyes first because she's bigger, so there's more space in there for me to paint. And I'm gonna have a go at just kind of painting several shades. So I'll get an electric blue colour that I'm happy with, and I'll add white and I'll add black to it to kind of give me different grades, or maybe I'll use different blues. And washes and things. I can make my own washes because I've got mediums for it, and I'm going to try and kind of give a little bit of depth to the colours in those eyes and make them look like they're glowing a little bit. I don't know why glowing eyes is a thing in fantasy and sci-fi, but it looks kind of cool, right? Space Marines and all that sort of stuff wear, you know, artificial armour. But these creatures are all completely biological, so having lights and things on your suit of armour kind of lends to the aesthetic and the atmosphere of future stuff. So it would, yeah, it'll be interesting. Jeff says gloss eyes. Yeah, not a bad shout actually. I did some lenses on one of my gunships for my Space Marines, and I painted different different grades of orange into the lenses, and it works really well. And then I glossed them as well, and that just adds to that kind of lensing effect. So yeah, maybe I'll put a gloss on these eyes. It might just add a little bit of something to it. Be very careful about where that gloss goes to, because if it starts to run into the recess around the eyes, it might make it look a bit odd. But what I have found is that adding a black wash into the eye sockets on faces, on creatures, even on suits of armor, really helps just isolate and really identify the color that you're putting in there. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it's basically like an eyeliner, and it really works. For me anyway. So I'm just going to go back to that grey and just clear up this awful blob that I've done up there. Oops. I'm just going to use my cheapy crap brush for this one. I'm just going to, not straight out of the pot because I'm not a Philistine. I think that's the first time I've ever used the word Philistine. And a couple of little white dots on top of the head there where I've been handling her too much and she's just, paint started coming off. Let's get that on there. There we are. Can see a couple of patches. Okay, I'm starting to do other jobs. It's not what I want to do. Does anybody else have that problem? where you just go like, oh, I'll just do this. Oh, I just found that. I'll go do that. And then you never actually get anywhere with the project that you want to do. So there are some yellowy areas still in there. I think, just for my own sense of pride, I'm just going to quickly go back into those with some more off-white just to completely cover them. I don't really want yellow in there. I want to disassociate from that colour in that area entirely. But that's not to say that using the crimson won't cover it completely anyway. But just to make sure, I can just see it showing through in a couple of places. I just want to make sure that we have a really cool pinky mouth interior. And I suppose it's the bottom of the mouth that we're going to see the most, because again the angle that we're looking at models from on the game table. So it's an area that I want to take a bit of pride with. Okay. I'm just going to go down those gums on the side on the outside one more time. So it looks a little bit transparent or translucent. Now the thing is, at this stage, this colour just looks so out of place. And you have a right to be frustrated or annoyed with it, because it looks like you've just kind of undone all the work you put in to get there. And to cover all this up, of course, I'll have to go back to all the yellows, restain all the yellows, re-highlight all the yellows. But you haven't. It's okay. By applying a shade or a wash to it, we'll tone the brightness of this colour down, and it's the brightness, the luminosity of the colour that's really making it stand out. It will blend away in a while. She's looking better already. Lights are quite strong. Let me pull the lights away there. She's now not messy. There are now no areas on there that aren't painted neatly, apart from the edges of the grey down the sides of the lower half of the snake bits. So yeah, she's looking really good. Oh, but I've just found more spikes in there. There is a spike in here. There's a spike in there. I will go in with the grey on those later on when I start doing the sides of the armour down the snake bits, because the spikes do need like another coat in some places, and I've got to do all the little spikes down the outside anyway. It's just one of those things. You're going to find those patches. You're going to find them. So yeah. Always look. I'm sure I've been aware of those previously. So cool. that's frustrating. Never mind. I'm gonna have a sip of tea. Right. Let's have a go at putting a wash in, a stain. Here are the brown colours that I use for the bone colours. I'm undecided. I'm not in shot. I'm undecided as to which one I prefer. On the yellows, I like to use Seraphim Sepia. I've said it so many times in the past. I find working on a model that there's very little difference between these two as colours, unless you're working with really light shades like the yellows and the whites, in which case this is a much lighter, warmer colour. This is slightly cooler, but deeper and darker. If you're working on dark colours, it's very difficult to tell the difference. They are still very brown, they're not black, they are still very, very brown, but it's very difficult to tell the difference between the two shades. So I think I use this one on the yellows, but I want this one on the whites to make the distinction between all the staining. Sometimes it's nice to use the same color stain across the whole thing because it's the key that holds everything together. When you've painted the whole scheme, some people just dip their models and then flick them to kind of get most of the stuff off. That's an actual technique for sludge washing. That's where Army Painter, the people who made this paintbrush, started, you know, making their products for, was actually like dip and shade products. So you can colour the whole thing with the same stain to kind of bring it all in, blend it, and unify the whole palette. I'm not really massively interested in that. I use black stains on the carapace. I use Seraphim Sepia on the yellows, and I'm quite inclined to use Agrax Earthshade? Agrax Earthshade for the bones, just because I like the dark nature of it. And if you apply it really thinly, you get like really nice sort of tones and grades, and then you can apply it really thick as like a border color as well. So yeah, that's probably the color I'm going to use on the teeth and the pincers. But I do need to find my other color, which is my crimson. And I did put all of my Citadel colours in a box. Haha! Here we are, because I have so many different colours from so many different brands, and it's, yeah, nice to kind of separate them all. So I find that sometimes I like, oh, I need that paint, but I know what brand it's from, so I try to keep all my brands together. So, Citadel Caribou Crimson. It's a really lovely colour. I really like it. I don't know what brush I'm going to use. Difficult. Let me have a look at all my other paintbrushes. Is there anything that's appropriate here? Probably not. I might just go back. Oh, do you know, this might be a job for the workhorse. The Wargamer Regiment brush from Army Painter. I put the repair gel in there last week, so I just need to break that up, wash it out. Nice and supple bristles there. Lovely. This might just be narrow enough to apply gently, because I don't want to have to go shoving colour into the mouth like I did with the white colour a minute ago. I just need to kind of dab it in and let capillary action take over. But it's narrow enough to kind of get in there, and it's got a belly enough to hold a decent amount of pigment. So let's give this a go. I hate these pots because they got this little thing on the back, and I'm fairly certain it's so that it's supposed to hold the pot up, but they always inevitably flick down again. Sometimes they just flick paint everywhere. Can see what you tried to do, Citadel, but I don't think it worked. Okay. Righto. Let's give this a go. Get a healthy amount of crimson on the brush. Just take off the excess so it's not going to run everywhere crazy bad. And I'm going to start on the roof of the mouth in there again, because it's the place it's less likely to see straight away. So if it all goes wrong, it's contained. I'll just start moving my lights around again. Okay, here we go. That's a fairly good effect. It's definitely an effect I want to get nailed. I really want to get this right, because one of the big creatures that I'm really fond of in the Tyranid range is the Haruspex, which if you don't know what that is, it's the one that is a giant open mess of tentacles coming out of a huge mouth. And the idea is that in a very John Carpenter fashion, tentacles and extensions with claws just kind of come out and grab you, and then it just kind of pulls you into this giant tank-sized creature. I actually think that the model is displayed worse than it actually appears. I do have a lot of issues with the way that Games Workshop paint their display art on their for their boxes for the products that they sell, and I think that they look very toyish, and it doesn't help the the image of nerds, you know. But I think the artwork is done deliberately to showcase the detail in a lot of places while still maintaining a level of like good painting. So they're painted in very clear colours, you know, very clear block colours, and unfortunately on some of their models it doesn't really pay off. It works on the Space Marines absolutely fine, they look really, really good, but on the Tyranids they just look a bit toyish, and there's not a lot to them. But they're trying to display the model on a different level, and I get it. If I've got that right, good for them. I get it. But unfortunately, the Haruspex just doesn't look very good on that box art. It just looks. It doesn't even look like a toy. It looks rubbish. But what really sold it to me was I saw someone who had painted it really, really well, and it looked like something out of a 80s horror film, but very, very real. And it just done it justice, and it was really good. And unfortunately, I can't remember where I found it, and I can't remember the artist to cite them. It was something I saw a while ago, back before I started Easy 8. So it's just one of those things, I'm afraid. I have seen similar since. And it just goes to show that when you're looking at all the box art, it's not always what you're getting, if that makes sense. So anyway, get back to the story. That is, I really like the Haruspex. I think it has a lot of potential, but it is 90% mouth and mouth parts, and it would be nice to kind of get it right. Jeff says, blue, maybe purple tongue, possibly? Yeah, I was thinking blue. When I first started doing Tyranids properly in sort of 3rd edition years ago, back when Brenda the Carnifex was made and done badly, I used to paint all my Tyranids dark green with black carapace, and it was a colour scheme that worked, to be fair. I just didn't do it very well. I did all their mouth parts blue, and it stood out. I just painted it very bad, and I did blue because I painted the Red Terror, and red, you know, the contrasting colour on in a colour wheel for red is blue, and it just stood out really, really well. So yeah, I did these mouth parts that way. It looked really cool. I don't know if blue will look all that good on a yellow scheme. I don't know if blue would be overpowering for a Haruspex model like I was just explaining. Mike Turner has joined us. Howdy all. How you doing, fella? Thanks very much for coming along. Glad to see you made it. I don't know if you've watched much of the show already this evening, but I've credited you for the inspiration for the title of the Discord server. I've been talking about it all night. You could go back and listen to it if you wanted to. I did say that I'd probably be talking about Discord all evening. I'm very excited about it. We have a Discord server. It is live right now, but you can't go to it just yet. At 9 o'clock this evening on Easy 8 Facebook page, there will be a timed post that will go up. It will be published at 9 o'clock, and it has a link to the server. The server is called Easy 8 After Party. Thanks, Mike, for suggesting these titles. Not only is it just the title, but it actually kind of made us think about what we wanted from Discord initially, and that is to start with, an after party. So you can come and join in Discord server. You can come in and you can text chat with everybody. You can voice chat. You can do video chat with us. We all get to join in together. And the joy of Discord, of course, is that it is just permanent and it's always on. So you don't have to just tune in on a Friday. You can just have it on in the background and you're doing some hobby stuff later in the week if you want to. You could be doing it on Saturday morning. You could be doing it on Sunday afternoon, and you just log on, and if someone else is online, they can reach out and talk to you, or you can reach out and talk to them. And that's the cool thing about Discord. So that is the inside of the mouth done, and where it is pooling at the bottom is making it look like there's a deeper throat in there. Like the more recess, it goes back further, it gives depth, and it looks really cool. Yeah, and that's just accidental. I quite like that. There's some nice colours coming out in there. I might apply another coat to the tongue to maybe just kind of make it a little bit more different. It's not outstandingly pink, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want it to be, look here, this is really pink and bright. I didn't want it to be like the tentacles that I did on my spore mines. I wanted them to be pinker. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Jeff has said, change my mind, not blue. Yeah, okay, cool. What made you change your mind? Is it the concept of like the giant mouth monster being all blue? Interested to know what made you change your mind there. This is the colour that I do all the muscle tissues and whatever. Like I'll do that part over here in the same way. So yeah, all the creases and all the joints are all done in the same way. I might just pick the tongue colour out a little bit. And of course I'll put a photograph in a minute on Facebook if you want to have a little look in a bit. And I'm going to do the gums in the same way. So there are gums on the bottom jaw, just down here. Mike says, I shall investigate. Cool, yeah, you should. Jeff says, inside the mouth looks good as you have it. Okay, cool. Mike says, the mouths of my monsters I went over with a layer of gloss medium. It's clear, but gives it a wet look. Yeah, I think I will. I'll make the teeth maybe semi-gloss or matte, but I do like the inside of the mouth just have like that, either semi-gloss or gloss, just to kind of give it a little bit different. You know, that little extra. But I'm happy with that. Of course, shades take a while to dry, so I can't just go straight in there now. Bit of a shame, but what I can do is get my really thin brush, and I can load it up with more crimson, and I can go in on the gums here. So that's where I'm going now. We have just 5 minutes to the end of the show today, but like I said, you don't have to worry, it's not all over. Fear not, viewers, for Easy 8 After Party is due to commence very, very shortly. So, I've said it so many times, sorry for repeating myself, but you can go and get the link to Discord from Facebook in a few minutes. It'll take you over to Discord, where you can make yourself a profile if you need to, and then from there, you can come over and join in the community. Maybe not everyone will come over to start with. It'll be nice if you all did. But no pressure. It's a tool for you to use. And once you're in, you are in. And you can just log in, log out whenever you want. It's looking really good. Pink on the gums is really working there. I'm just going to make sure it's on all parts of the gum, so I'm just going to deliberately get it up on the teeth there as well, just to make sure that there's no little bits left over, because they'll stand out. They'll stand out quite a bit, and I don't want that just to be, you know, don't want it to be left. Work my way all the way around. And you can see now, like I said earlier on, the brightness of that white is just gone, so it doesn't stand out so much now. I'm just trying to cover the whole surface of that gum line, just to bring in that really mild purple pink colour, and then where it pulls up, it just gives a little bit of definition between the gums, and it's a really good colour for gums. Really into that. That's really good. Well done, me. Just make sure that there's no unpainted parts inside the mouth there, because like the gums, it will show up. That's really good. Yeah. And again, just a couple of those missed little bits in the roof of the mouth in there. Areas where you're not likely to see, but I'll end up taking a photograph of it somewhere and you go like, oh yeah, that bit. Look at that. Looks very John Carpenter. It's not over the top. It's not in your face. It's in her face. There we go. I didn't do anything on the Carn effects, and I'm not upset about it. I'm really happy with that. I just felt like doing some basic work today and not having to sit there and do detail blending and things. And like I said, I'm not entirely happy with my choices when it comes to my greys. So perhaps that's something we'll talk about in a short while over on the Easy 8 after party. Let me come away from the workbench here. Here I am. I'm right here. So yeah, it's been a good evening. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. It still is lonely without Kyle, and I'm going to put my sad face on for this. Hey Kyle, we really miss you. I certainly miss you. It's nice definitely to have someone to bounce off of and have, you know, that kind of conversation with. But one thing that I've learned from doing Easy 8 is I can talk just constantly about nothing and everything. But hey, I'm just here for the company that you guys give me. I hope that I give you loads of company. I hope that you've been very productive with your hobby this evening. I'm really looking forward to seeing photos of all of your stuff on Facebook. You can, of course, share it on Discord later on this evening. But please don't leave people out on Facebook out of the equation. Do put your photos up there as well. And share. Because I like to look at all of it. So, yeah, I have done some good work and found more claws and spikes on Susan. Anyway, that's enough for me for this evening. It is now 9 o'clock. There should be a post up on Facebook on Easy 8. If it hasn't gone out as part of the timed publishing tool thing, I will make sure that I go and do it physically. So if it's not there now, just hold tight. But it should be a link on Easy 8 Facebook page here. Where you can just click on it and it will just take you straight over the Discord. It would be really, really nice to see how many people show up. If you all turn up or just a few turn up, whatever. It's just be nice to kind of talk to you and have that kind of after party experience. In the meantime, I've been Danny. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, and I'll see you guys here next week on next episode of Easy 8's Online Painting Club. Stay safe and stay classy. See you soon. Take care. Bye bye. Really nice now that she's got some gums and some lips.